Hey, founders. Many a business is launched because a founder had a problem no one else was solving, right? Well, our guest's problem were mosquitoes, and you're going to love how she solved this biting problem. Stay tuned for the Startup Life live show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Startup Life live show. I'm your host, Ande Lyons, and I'm a startup coach to first-time founders. And check out, this is how I serve these first-time founders. And frankly, after raising 4 businesses of my own, I now help these newly minted business owners sleep through the night because, hey, new businesses, they don't come with instructions. And you need to have someone you can rely on to help you, someone who's been there to help you. So this is how I move and groove in the world. Thank you for carving out time to tune in and up your founder game, because as you do better and know better, your business will too. And please take a moment and put your business name and the website link into the comment sections so we can amplify your startup live right up here on the screen. Okay. Love giving the shout outs to all you wonderful founders out there. For those of you watching the replay, thanks for tuning in. And please like the video and be sure to click on the subscribe button. Thank you so much. I am seriously so excited to introduce you to our guest, Kelley Higney. Kelley is the founder and CEO of the Bug Bite Thing, and she grew up in, bless her heart, mosquito-free San Diego. And when she and her family relocated to South Florida in 2016, Kelley was like, what? She was unprepared for how mosquitoes would impact her family's quality of life. And if any of you have mosquitoes in your life, you know how disruptive that they can be. So after many failed attempts, she tried creams, she tried other home remedies. She discovered a little known tool that uses suction to help remove insect saliva and venom from under the skin. Kelley was amazed to find that the product worked, offered instant relief, and decided to bring this consumer product to the world, branding it the Bug Bite Thing. She teamed up with her mom, a seasoned founder herself, and they, in October 2019, pitched Bug Bite Thing on Shark Tank, where all the sharks were biting with offers to invest in the business. You're going to love these stories. It was Lori's golden ticket offer that secured the partnership and catapulted the company to nationwide recognition. And get this, today, the product is #1 on Amazon in the bug bite relief section and has over 20,000 reviews. Oh my gosh, we need to give this amazing female founder a huge round of applause. Welcome to the show, Kelley.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me on, Ande.
Oh, thank you. And thank you for connecting on LinkedIn and opening my eyes to this wonderful business. And as I've said before, I've had so much fun watching the Shark Tank episode with you on it. It was so good. Where are you hailing from today, Kelley?
We are in Port St. Lucie, Florida.
Where is that on?
Like South Florida area.
Got it. Yeah. Thank you for that little geographic moment.
The capital of the world. No.
I can only imagine what that must have been like. Yeah, I'm here in Boston, everyone. Go ahead and put where you're hailing from in the comment section so we can do a wave to you and a mwah to wherever you're hailing. And oh, thank you. This is a phenomenal female founder. Now, I know you're going to put your business name and website link, please, Kristen, into the comment section, because I'm following you on Instagram and you guys are doing remarkable things. And it's very exciting to see what you've got coming up next. Hey, Jocelyn, how are you? Que pasa? Marketing agency. Thank you. Jocelyn is a local Boston person and we love and adore him. He keeps the startup community humming along while serving everybody. That's right. Boston. Yay. Okay. So, Kelley.
Yes.
This is, we always love to find out what pulled a founder away from, quote, the guaranteed paycheck? What made them want to go and launch a business and dive into an extremely high level of uncertainty, right? Oh my gosh. Share with everybody. There you were getting bit left and right by mosquitoes. And there's a problem that we've all suffered with for decades and centuries. Why you? Why was this a problem you wanted to solve? And what called you to not only find a solution, but to actually take on the challenge of launching a consumer product business?
I think it was just meant to be. That's my best answer I can say. A lot of work and determination. So essentially what happened was, I had moved from San Diego, California, to South Florida, and we were getting attacked by mosquitoes, absolutely attacked. And my daughter was very young at the time, and she was suffering from bug bites. She would get blisters. Every time she would get bit, it would swell up into a golf ball size welt, blister, and then it would turn into cellulitis, which is a skin infection from her itching it open. And I didn't know any better. And so all the remedies that are available are creams or, topicals. And I was having to apply them over and over and over again all day. And I'm like, there's full of chemicals. This cannot be good. I was worried she was going to, put it in her mouth. And so we just started avoiding the outdoors. That was my solution. I didn't have a solution.
Kelley, I have never heard of that level of swelling and cellulite.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's actually becoming a bigger and bigger problem. What people don't realize is the mosquito saliva that's under your skin is what your body's reacting to. So the longer it stays in your skin, the more of a reaction you have. And
oh my gosh.
Yeah. And so there's even things like skeeter syndrome that are floating around there now. It's becoming a bigger and bigger problem.
Oh my God, it's getting right up there with Lyme disease. Well, yeah, Kristen, you were definitely in Mosquito Central right there in Houston. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And you moved from England, the United Kingdom to Houston. So I think you're feeling the same way that Kelley did. Oh my gosh.
And you're just not prepared, right? Yeah. So I wasn't prepared. So I started doing research, and I'm literally trying everything. I was looking on Pinterest for home remedies, rubbing dryer sheets, trying every preventative. Nothing was working. And then I came across a little tool, and it used suction to remove the irritant. And I'm like, well, that's genius. That makes sense. You're eliminating the problem.
Right.
Still completely skeptical, because why is this not here in the US if it works, right?
So, why hasn't someone else, CVS launched it?
So ordered one in, tried it out, because of course, in my mailbox, I'm getting bit 15 times. My daughter's bit in the house already. So I get to try it around, for the first time. And I'll never forget using it for the first time, because I was shocked. I was literally like all of our customers are. You're just like, what? You feel it working, the pain, the itching, the swelling start immediately going away. And it was 30 seconds of using this tool, and all these problems just went away. And I was shocked. And then I couldn't get it out of my head. Okay. And that's what started this whole thing. And
wait a minute, can I just say, other founders, that, right? All of a sudden,
it's like a bug. It's like a mosquito, an annoying mosquito. It just doesn't go away. So I could not shake it. I could not let it go. And so to test my theory, I had one tool, right? Mm-hmm. And I started having friends and family use it, and they were getting the same results. And so that's when I was like, okay, maybe I'm onto something. And
Kelley, had you had any entrepreneurial experience before that? Did you have any role models in your life that showed you what it was like to start a business? Because many people could be sitting there with the idea, but have no clue where to begin.
Yeah. So for my personal situation, I've been very fortunate. I grew up in a very entrepreneurial family. My grandmother and my mother are both entrepreneurs and business owners. I learned everything from them. So I actually was working for our family-owned company when we had moved from San Diego to Florida. So I was learning our family import-export distribution business. And so when I couldn't shake this idea, my mother was very involved at the beginning, helping me figure out if this was a viable business, if we wanted to, go forth with this. And she supported me, and
that's great.
Yeah. And we started our mission. We were able to track down the factory that was producing the product. I spit out my vision to him. We were able to land the exclusive rights for the US. And that's when I started in my own backyard selling it. I branded it and we started.
And again, who can relate to having that happen? I mean, I launched a food business. It came together in such a way. And if I thought in hindsight I was going to do something with the shelf life, I probably would have checked myself into like a Betty Ford clinic or something, because it was so hard and so impossible.
And then the thing for me is I'm taking on a product and I'm trying to figure out how to teach the world about a new concept. And that's a whole nother business model, right?
Because exactly.
That's something in itself, is how to educate the world of a new concept to get relief from bug bites. So
that's right.
That's what really became the.
And everybody, I'll just bring myself into full screen here. This is it right here. Yeah. And so we will, you can find demonstrations of the product everywhere. But it was really funny when I was tweeting the show ahead of time, one of my pals, she's a local female founder, she said, "Oh my gosh, we love the bike thing. We used it all summer long." It was like an instant testimonial. So that's the best part, is that when you find folks who love your product, they're definitely there for forever.
They're lifers. They're lifers. And we have such a loyal customer base that refer us. We have doctors referring us now. I mean, we're really penetrating. Yeah, we have a pediatric cancer doctor that refers our product to their patients, because these children going through chemo can't use the creams. There's something in the medication that makes them more attracted to mosquitoes. So, but again, I started this out of a passion because I wanted people to get relief. So it's really coming full circle. And that's for me.
That is very exciting. Yeah. Every founder would love that. Yeah. I just want to say hi to one of my favorite people, Ande Jack. Hi, AJ. AJ co-hosts a monthly pitch event here in Boston with me called Founders Live Boston. But he is has one of the best marketing companies and web and app dev companies out there. And thank you, Kirsten, for sharing your business, Blue Maestro. Everybody go check out Blue Maestro. It's a temperature sensor product, Internet of Things, amazing. And they're doing remarkable. I mean, I've been watching them for about 4 years, and it's just such a treat to see how far you've come and all the excitement going on for you, Kirsten. Thank you for sharing that. All right, everybody, this is one of my favorite parts of the show, because it is one of the most important exercises that you will go through and as a founder, and you got to do it right at the beginning, and it's called Prove That Value Prop. And the reason it's so important is that most startups fail because nobody wants the product. Okay, it's the number one reason. The market doesn't want it. So you've got to prove that people are out there saying, yeah, not only do they want to buy it, they're willing to educate themselves in the bug bite scenario, but they need to want to buy it again, et cetera. And you have to, as a founder, really dive deep into your hypothesis of proving your value proposition. So Kelley, there you were, you figured it out, you talked to the manufacturer, so now you know where to get it, but you still had to know, what to call it.
Yep.
Right? Come up with a name that people could remember and relate to and understand, as far as helping you educate, what do we use this product for? But also, where do you begin and what happened? Because the customers teach us a lot of things. So a lot of times we go swirling down a path thinking we know a customer segment and we don't always know it. So share your story with us.
That happened to me. I'm the spitting image of that, of that scenario. We immediately thought that the product was going to appeal to, male outdoorsmen. That was my first initial thought. Anybody out in the trenches, hiking, camping, fishing. And although that's one part, that was 100% the wrong demographic to target right at the beginning. And
how did you know it? What kind of feedback did you get?
skepticism. It was the same thing you're talking about. Nobody was willing to listen. They weren't willing to acknowledge a new concept or a new process. That's not going to work. There was just a lot. I was hit with a lot of skepticism, and it became very discouraging at the very beginning because, I have all this, I got all this, I've got this great product. I tracked down the factory. I believe in the product, and I go to start selling it and it's not selling. And
what kept you from stopping? Because also, founders, remember, this could just be discovering a roadblock where you're not supposed to go. And so don't quit on that.
And if I would have stopped, this wouldn't have happened, right? So I'm the perfect example of that. What happened was that little mosquito kept flying in my head, and I couldn't get out of my head. And so I said, you know what? Other moms just like me need to be able to provide something for their children. And that was what started this from the beginning for me. I had nothing. I didn't want to put a bunch of chemicals on my daughter, and I had nothing. I didn't have a solution. And now I do. And there's got to be other moms that are in that same scenario. And so I started selling them at my daughter's bake sales at her preschool. And I set up a table, and I went to Kinko's, and I made a little pop-up flyer. I hand wrote a little sign that said, like, I think it was 2 for $15 or $20. And I started selling them. And that's when it snapped. And almost instantly, when I was able to demonstrate the product, explain what it is, what it did, how it was helping my child who was getting, cellulitis and other issues, other moms immediately resonated with me. They felt they were in similar scenarios. They were dealing with the same situations. Their kids, are itching for days on end. They can't go anywhere because it's miserable. And
especially when you've got the welts, it looks terrible and it feels.
And the kids get scars. You get scars out in Florida. It's a very common thing, and definitely in other states as well that suffer. But so I started selling them, and by the end of the school season, I had parents tracking me down in the parking lot, not during bake sales. I need to get 2 more. I need more. And I had my little Shopify point of sale app, and I was taking orders out of the trunk of my car at my daughter's preschool. And then, ironically, all the moms and the children that were using it started sharing it with their husbands and the male demographic. And because it was effective for the moms and the kids, the males started getting past the skepticism and trying it as well.
I love that. And also, there's no chemical that you're putting on your body.
Correct.
So, this is a plunger that goes like this. So how does that work? So, and can you use it forever, more than once? How does it?
So it's literally like a reverse syringe. You literally stick it over the bite. I wish I had one right on me, but of course I don't. Let me see if I have one in my drawer. No, I need
okay. And of course,
you stick it over the bite, and you slowly pull up on the handles. You don't have to pull it up all the way. You have complete control over the amount of suction. And you hold it there for 10 to 15 seconds while the irritant has a chance to be brought to the surface of the skin, or into the removable end cap. Wipe it off, wash out the end cap, and then you just throw it back in your travel bag, your glove box, and it's reusable.
Oh my gosh. I have so many questions.
Yes.
Hey. This is Kirsten. I'm sold. Just bought one.
Thank you, Kirsten.
And I got to say thank you to Jocelyn. He's putting up your website.
Thank you. I appreciate your guys' support.
Put that up. That's great. Hey, Christy. Oh, that's wonderful. I need another.
I love it.
That is so great.
Makes me happy.
Yes.
I still get giddy every time I'm still waiting for the day I go out in public and just see a random stranger using it. I haven't seen that yet. Somebody has tracked me down from a sticker and said, "Oh, I love your product," whatever. But I want to just see it organically. That will make my day.
That is so exciting. So how did you initially fund your startup? Because that's always a challenge, especially when you have to get inventory into place and then sell. And
so essentially what my story was, when I started selling them at bake sales, I was not fully pot committed yet. I was not 100% on board. I was still learning my family's company at the time. And I I was trying to make that transition. And when I tested my theory essentially with these bake sales, and I, was able to prove my concept that there was a demand, and I wanted to do this full time. I had a very difficult conversation with my mother, and she actually completely supported me. And my husband and I ended up selling our house, and we moved into a rental. And that was going to be my big leap into fully focusing on this. That's what we had to do to purchase our first batch of inventory, our first big run. And that was it. And I had purchased 10,000 units. It was going to last me all season. And within a month, and I'm sure you're going to ask a bunch of questions. But within a month of me going full time, I was able to land some publicity, and one of the media hits we had, I sold out of all my inventory in like 3 days.
I have goosebumps.
That was the first little inclination of what Bug Bite Thing could be on a bigger level. So,
oh my gosh. And I said, I'm very proud of you and your husband for making the decision of being a lean machine and lowering your overhead so that you could be comfortable with your family.
Yes.
And still
you have to be smart. I mean, I wasn't going to sacrifice everything we've worked for, thus far, but it was a risk. And
we got to get you on with Gary Vaynerchuk, because this is what he preaches, and he loves to hear when founders do that, because it's so important to lower your overhead so you can really finance your business and give it the blood it needs to grow and glow. So let's talk about launching a consumer product, because there you were right then. Boom. You thought you had enough for the season, 10,000 units. Let's first talk about, how did you come up with the pricing? We already know how the manufacturer was already there for you. Did you have to cut a deal with him, an agreement?
So we actually, so I'll fast forward to now, because we're very, he's a very strong partner of ours.
Yeah.
They don't sell any OEM product anymore. We've secured contracts with them globally now. So they're fully on board and have converted into Bug Bite Thing headquarters Europe now, which is super exciting. But at the time, we didn't, right? We had to develop a relationship with our factory, and we started small. I didn't bring in a lot of inventory because I had to fund it myself, and I didn't want outside investors at the beginning. I wanted to build this and try to make a business for myself and my family. I just was trying to make enough money to stay afloat and do what I wanted to do as my passion. That's what this all started out as.
Yeah. And the beauty of the fact that you had the manufacturer, you found the manufacturer of this product. So you already knew what the cost of goods sold would be. This is how much it takes to put out this product and package it. Did they have a machine that could just pop it right into this after it comes off the assembly?
Yeah, they have molds. So our factory is located in Europe, Denmark, and they already had the molds. Again, this product was in circulation, so my situation's a little bit different. Yeah, it was a very little known product, right? And the marketing and the education that is involved with this product is very specific for people to understand what it is and what it does. It took a lot of hard work and a lot of pivoting at the beginning. Tons. I'm not going to lie. I mean, it was like figuring out how to make this work.
Right. And are you talking on the pivoting? Is it in the actual manufacturing process, or was it bringing it to market? Was it the consumer?
Bringing it to market, figuring out price points. For example, I launched it with a lower price point, and I was met with skepticism because our product is not inexpensive. It's actually high quality polypropylene plastic. It's made in Denmark. It's made very well and durable. And so I didn't want to price it too low, and I didn't want people to think it was gimmicky and wasn't going to work. And
also you have to make, folks, when you're launching a product, you got to have your built-in margins, because someday you're not going to be doing direct to consumer. You're going to be using distribution. And of course, volume can solve so many problems. But when you were starting up, how did you figure out pricing?
It was trial and error. There was multiple factors. It was our cost based off of quantity, right? Because the more volume we purchased, the cheaper our pricing was going to be. It was, how did our product compare to competition in the same space, other insect bite relief products? even though we didn't have a direct competition in the insect bite space, meaning there wasn't another suction tool in that space, there was creams, right? And if we're going to be going against the creams as the chemical-free alternative, how do you price that so people will go and not, be more opt to make that leap of trying the chemical-free solution?
Right.
So,
and so then of course
all of that, yeah.
And so your marketing then had to be geared for people who were willing to pay that price point. Wow.
Understand the value, understand that even though it's reusable, and then people, there was a lot we learned. We also didn't realize how big of a repurchase item this was going to be. We have a lot of repetitive customers. They come back and they buy one for every location. So our product is best used when used as immediately after a bite, because the longer the irritant stays in, the more of a reaction your body has to it. So, and again,
be everywhere. It's like your lipstick. You got to have it everywhere.
Hot box, purse, diaper bag, golf bag, boat. You just keep one in every spot like your eyeglasses, and you always have one around. You have to remember, our product also works on bee stings. It works on wasps. It works on ants. It works on fleas, no-see-ums. So we have customers using it on splinters a year round, on kids who are afraid of tweezers. So we're discovering new ways people are using our product every day too, and which makes it exciting. So
yeah, I could see like a really nice video series of people sending you how they're using your product.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we get a lot of fun. We get a lot of fun testimonials. I love reading the testimonials. They're so real. You can just tell they're real. They're so scenario based, and I love it. Anybody with a consumer product, there's a wonderful way that you can leverage by going to trade shows. And that can really help your direct to consumer while building relationships with folks who are going to buy it by the pallet and take it off into the world for you. So how did that work for you? Did you start finding some trade shows to go to, or did you stay as an e-commerce site? How did your initial? Ironically, that was one of my hiccups, right? So I attended year one before we really got any traction. I attended a trade show, and we had a lot of interest, but again, it wasn't a consumer trade show. So it was B2B, which was our initial thought was, okay, we're going to get in at retail and the product's going to sell itself based off of the foot traffic and the visibility. That was completely wrong, by the way. Completely false hope on that one. But we essentially learned a lot on the retail level, because once we started creating a big enough demand on our own, the retailers came to us. Yeah. So when people want a product and they want it and they're asking their stores, where can I get it? I want this.
Makes your life
you down. I mean, I'm a big believer in focusing on your own business and, keep yourself focused. Don't worry so much about all the other background noise when you're starting your company. Because if I would have listened to all those retailers that said, you're never going to get in as a one SKU item, you're never going to, make it with one product at this price point, educating the market, we wouldn't be here. And I don't believe them. So
that is such a good point. Did you come up with explainer videos? How did you help people, understand how to use your product? That's all part of the marketing effort.
Yep. So my marketing strategy is really grassroots. I was re-showcasing real people's testimonials. I was, one of the biggest things I did at the beginning was I wanted to offer a money back guarantee. And I think anybody that feels like they have a home run product, if margins and, your scenario and your situation allows it, that's a great resource to give, consumers that may be skeptical an incentive to take the leap and purchase your product if there's no risk.
Right.
So we offer 100% money back guarantee now, and we did at the beginning. And I still don't get enough customers returning our product for me not to want to offer that. So
that's right. Honestly, that's wonderful. So who was like your first big purchase, did you get into a big box store? Like who was the big pallet purchase?
CVS Pharmacy put us in 7,000 locations the year that we filmed Shark Tank, that we aired on Shark Tank. And
right.
we did that before Shark Tank. So that was all us. And that was really exciting.
So, and that, before we go on to the Shark Tank story, I want to talk a little bit about inventory management, because again, I mean, you did come from a background where the family business was import exports. You had a taste of what inventory looked like in product moving, but founders, nothing prepares you for inventory management. And it can be really
even still, right? So we're in a different scenario because we went from 0 to 100 very quickly with Shark Tank. So how do you manage inventory? How do you project what you're going to make next year when you're a startup? And growing at that pace because your product is gaining traction, national media attention. So we went through a ton of inventory issues. One of the biggest things, this is the area that my mother handles. She handles the accounting inventory management side. But one of the things I asked her, she said, I'm going to take my notes here because I wanted to share with you guys. She essentially...
That's okay, because, you have to there are amazing, of course, apps and systems out there that you can use to help manage your inventory. They'll help you really understand the flow. And again, it's a one SKU product. So you think it would be like, what's the big deal? It's not like I've got, 20 different SKUs with this product, like a clothing manufacturing company, one SKU, and it can still send everything into a snowball of, oh my gosh, we're never going to meet that order. And one of the things that you have to be able to do, and you get that, CVS, we're going to put you into 7,000 locations. You have to make sure they're comfortable with the fact of your ability to deliver, because that's what they're going to be looking for. We place this order, not only can she deliver her first round, but will she be able to do reorders?
Everybody wants you to keep up. And
so share mom's advice.
Her advice literally was just make sure you get some type of software program that can deal with your accounting, like QuickBooks or some type of inventory management system at the beginning. Because even though, like you said, we're a one SKU item, guess what we did when we found the demand? We created multi-packs because we saved on shipping, and now we're 2 SKUs. Now we created a 3-pack. Now we're 3 SKUs, so there's more. There's more that can always be done. So
thank you for that, because again, founders, when you're doing product, there's just all these little pesky details. So Kelley, thank you for sharing that insight. And also be gentle with yourself, because you're not figuring it out right away. You're going to want to, of course, prepare the best that you can, but the stuff is going to happen and you'll learn from it.
Yes.
And you got to let it go, decrease the expectations of you being superwoman 24/7, and understand that you will figure it out, and you'll find, especially if you can outsource it to a smarty pants like Kelley's mom to manage it. That's really important, to have someone who loves that level of detail. So now, Shark Tank, what did you apply? Did they come to the South Florida and you went, I want to get in line and be one of the people they choose? How did that happen?
So I'll fill you in. So backing up a little bit, when I made the leap to do this full time, right? So now I'm back in my rental house. I don't know marketing. I know marketing to a level, but I'm not professionally. So I had to figure out how to market the product. And so I started taking Udemy classes.
Yay, Udemy.
Social media. And I started putting in $10 a day on ad spend and started playing around with how to make this work. And long story, I got pretty good at it. Yeah. And I caught the attention from a producer from Shark Tank. He saw one of my ads and he sent an email and he encouraged me to audition. And that was it.
Oh.
And we went through the same process as everybody else, but
tell everybody what the process is like.
I have to be careful what I say, but it's insane. Well,
first of all, the producer invited you, so you didn't have to do the wait in line like so many people do. Okay, so that's lovely.
Right. So we had to do a film. We had to do a film, audition. There was a bunch of, communications back and forth. The process is pretty complex, but obviously very exciting.
What was it like when you walk? I mean, I watched this on Shark Tank and I watched them all walk out into the stage and I think, oh my gosh,
So what you think is what you feel when you're actually on there. So literally, I feel like I was blacked out. Thank goodness I know my company and my product, but I was on autopilot. I thank my mother tenfold for giving me acting classes when I was little, because I don't know what I would have done. I froze. It's very intimidating. There's lights everywhere. They do a really good job at hiding the camera people, though. So it feels like you're having an authentic business meeting.
And had you ever pitched your business before?
Never. I've never been to a pitch competition. I've never pitched or presented for my business. No, we were just, we're the real deal. I came out of my house and this happened. So
because the air date is one thing, but it was filmed months in advance.
Yes. It's filmed. Yeah, it was filmed in June and it aired in October, I believe.
Yeah. So I just want people to understand some of that inside part of Shark Tank, although I'm sure we've read it before. Folks, I have, for you watching the replay, I have the link to the video of Kelley on Shark Tank. And for those of you live, I just put it into the comments section. You have to watch. I watched it again before I went live today. It is so much fun. The sharks were all seriously biting each other to get this deal. I mean, every single one of them. And when Lori, and the looks on everybody's face when Lori held up her gold, I rarely do this, and I have my golden ticket. Oh my gosh, all the sharks were like, oh no, not the golden ticket.
It was very, very surreal. It still feels surreal. Even like hearing it when somebody else explains, I'm like, that was me. I was up there. And it was so much fun. It was definitely a once in a lifetime experience.
Well, and here's something that I saw when I was watching it, which was really cool. All the sharks loved your valuation. And folks, if you watch Shark Tank, that you know that's the thing that upsets them the most is people come in and they're giving them 10% of $1 billion of a company that hasn't even proven itself.
No proof again. Right.
So that was common feedback. I thought that was amazing.
Yeah, that I didn't want to go in and be embarrassed. I wanted to be fair. We thought, I wasn't even going to go on. I was skeptical going on because, again, you have a product that's not known. The product is not patentable. Mm-hmm. It's been in existence for 30 years. So the risk and where I was at with running this company out of my house and my garage, there was a lot of risk. And we thought it through. We literally created lists and lists of just pros and cons of everything that could have happened. And the pros outweighed it. And, what was the worst that could have happened before I got started, Right. And we did it smart. We studied like crazy. We, went out there with who we wanted in our heads. We wanted to be fair with the valuation. Because
did you want Lori? Is that?
We did. We went out there with Lori as our first choice. I was open to hear everybody, but I really wanted to see who resonated and understood our business. Yeah. And Lori is a mosquito magnet, and I don't know how much that got. I can't remember because.
Oh yeah, it does. I just watched. She talks about it because they love me. They all sting me. I hate it.
And so the dialogue during during the pitch and the conversations that were happening, I really felt like she understood the suffering like I did and my daughter does. And, it was a good fit. And, obviously the golden ticket sealed the deal. And
everybody, you should see what Barbara Corcoran does when she finds out she lost this deal. I mean, she's demonstrative, but she just froze herself back.
They were so nice. I honestly would have been so grateful partnering with any of them. Literally all of them were so, so nice and supportive.
And did this really catapult you into that?
It really did. Shark Tank really put us on a different level.
Were you prepared? Because you had that 3-month period. You already knew the outcome yourself before it went live. So were you able to ramp up? Because that's the discussion with the sharks was inventory and cash flow.
Our situation was a little unique because our episode aired in October, which is the slowest month for mosquitoes out of the entire year for bug bite thing, right?
Okay.
However, it was still the perfect timing for everybody to purchase them for stocking stuffers. So we actually had a very, very lucrative Shark Tank sale. We definitely were prepared. Where we ran into the inventory issues again, where we couldn't have predicted with the forecasting was when we hit our first mosquito season since Shark Tank aired.
So
oh my God.
So when is Mosquito
twice? We actually were able to, we re-aired twice on ABC already. So our episode aired October of 2019. Then we re-aired January 2020 and then June 2020. And the June 2020 airing was like the first airing going crazy because it was in the right season. So our product is very seasonal. And although, you know, there's a demand for it for holidays, it's in the US, it's very seasonal. You know, March through, you know, the end of August is mosquito season.
I just thought it was year round in Florida. No?
It is for the most part, but you know, what's funny is market, you know, we're learning too, right? So we're on year 3 of this, and every year our seasons are getting shorter because we're adding international. So international seasons are off from the US. So, you know, we just landed a really strong partner in India. And so like they're starting in November during our off season. So we're trying to bridge the gap.
That's wonderful. I bet, you know, I've been to Australia. It's pretty dry, but they've got to have up in the jungle area.
Oh, yeah. Australia's big. We've got Taiwan, Vietnam, Canada. They're all jumping on board. So it's going to
I know up here in New England, sometimes we get mosquitoes so big they can carry you off into the woods.
Yep.
And we also have the triple E problem up here, which is the equine encephalitis, everybody. And we had a bad case, you know, we get the West Nile as well. Does it matter if you're going to get that?
Unfortunately, our product isn't going to help with that. There's not enough research. They're still doing research to understand everything. And again, I still, just because I'm on the consumer side, right? I get the consumer feedback. And just over the last 3 years, I've noticed people's reactions to just mosquito bites by region are getting outrageous. So I don't know.
Yeah, they're getting bigger and bolder.
Yeah, they are. So
can the big bug bite thing work with ticks? Getting the tick out of this, or are they launched in really firmly?
We will always recommend using a specially designed tick tool to remove the head, but our product can be used as a secondary product to follow up to remove any remnants that may not have been gotten.
I was just curious.
Yeah.
Hey, Abhishek, great to see you. So when you're saying how was it working with the sharks, do you mean when it was all done and then she had to work with Lori? Are you able to chat about that? You know, the non-disclosure.
Lori's our partner. You know, our deal closed. So she's definitely, you know, part of Bug Bite Thing. And she's a great partner. She's been a phenomenal help. She's a huge mentor to me. You know, I look up to her big time.
I can only imagine to have Lori Greiner as a mentor for a consumer product.
She is so smart, and I'm learning. I don't know everything. So you have to
Hold on, everybody. I feel an Andy-licious moment coming on. Wait a minute. That's right. Andy-licious moment coming on. Did you hear what Kelley said? I don't know everything. That's right. You don't know everything as a founder. You have to ask questions. You have to reach out to folks and find the answers and be willing to be like, no, I don't know.
And not be afraid to partner with the people that offset your weaknesses, right? I'm terrible at the accounting and the inventory management side. I just want to sell. I know my customer. I know customer service. I run the marketing and the customer service side. And you know, the visionary, I want to educate the world that there's a better, you know, chemical-free way to get relief. And
that's right. And the sooner you delegate, folks, the sooner you make more money.
Yeah. And you can execute. You can't execute without help.
So now your business is growing because you've Shark Tank twice.
Yes.
And now inventory. And so, you know, and this is what I love best about your story is that you partnered with your manufacturer.
Yes.
And folks, that takes a certain amount of continuing conversation and relationship building.
Trust, huge
trust. Tell us a little bit more about that, because for you, I think that's a real talent that you did to bring them on board. And how did that transition happen from them being, you know, the co-packer when you needed them to we're part of the business growth?
I honestly, I think what happened was it was organic. I never went in with the mindset that I was going to go convert our factory into just bug bite thing, right? That didn't even cross my mind. I wanted security for me and my brand here in the US. And so that's what I started with.
Yeah.
Well, what happened was we built that brand, right? And we created a demand, and we have retailers coming to us. We have consumers asking. Now we have global consumers asking for our product. And now our factory is getting contacted from all these distributors in other countries wanting to sell just the bug bite thing, not the OEM product. And there you go, right? It makes more sense to turn this situation into a win-win-win and be, have power in numbers and all be together and share a cohesive strategy so we can dominate and make this a household product. So that's
Love that. Love that. And that's, folks, when you're doing a consumer product, that's all part of the big business model. And you really, even though it's scary in the beginning to think that you're going to be selling this by the pallet, and that, and having to understand what does a pallet package look like for the CVSs. Right. What is one of your most favorite wins that you've had, Kelley, along the way, as far as, CVS is amazing. Shark Tank is amazing. I mean, really right there, it's so sweet. Has anything happened since then that you just went, oh my gosh, that was a dream come true?
So we landed some pretty decent publicity this year. That felt pretty surreal. A week after we aired on Shark Tank, the doctors did a segment on our product. And then we were able to be on, Good Morning America did a Steals and Deals segment. The View did a Steals and Deals segment. So those were exciting. Nice. The people.com featured us. They actually tested the product and wrote a whole review on it and feature. That was really lucrative. That was really exciting for me. And I got on Forbes Council this year. So that's
what does that mean to get on Forbes Council?
It's just I get questions and then I can consult, give business advice, give my 2 cents, and then they'll feature me in some Forbes articles and things. So I have a passion for giving back too,
Yes.
Because if I had somebody being real with me at the beginning and being honest and just telling me all these issues I was going to run into, why not share that?
That's right. Because we don't want you to stop because it's so hard and so scary, folks. This is why I have the Startup Life Live show, to share stories like yours, to give first-time founders, second-time founders, the understanding. And folks, you could be a multi-business person like myself. Each business comes with a completely different personality, just like your kids. Right. No two are the same, and they have their own quirky problems that come with it. So to get your expertise advice is so wonderful like this. So as your own, this is the first time you have been a founder, right? Yeah. And so what has kept you awake at night? What has made you feel inadequate as a founder? And how did you shift out of that? What mind hacks did you put into place so that you could go, okay, I'm feeling very doubtful right now, because the founder journey, everybody, there are some very similar attributes that we all go through in trying to manage and navigate this very tumultuous roller coaster ride. So what advice do you have, Kelley?
You need to figure out your work-home life balance. That's the biggest advice I can give anybody starting up, anybody successful in a business. You still have to have the same recipe to make it work. Your health, your focus, and you can't do that if you take too much on. You can't do that if you don't delegate, if you don't have time for yourself and your family. The best ideas that I've come up with and that have moved the company forward have all come from meditation or a quiet place where I'm sitting outside for 5 minutes in silence, or so even though I'm trying to clear my mind with those skills, that brings me the most clarity, if that makes sense.
Yes, it makes wonderful sense. And as a female founder, what advice do you have, folks? Because sorry, guys, it's a little bit, it's challenging as the woman out there, as a founder.
What I've done, and because I've already experienced it, and I didn't think I wanted to believe it didn't exist, but it does. And I pretend that I know just as much as all these men because I do. And honestly, a lot of the points that I make, there's no it is what it is.
Yeah.
So if I'm saying it or a guy is saying it, it doesn't really matter. It's facts. So I like to stick with facts. I like to stick with, I have confidence in what I'm saying just because it's my own experience. I don't know everything, but I know what works for my business and my company, and I know what I'm going to budge on and what I'm not.
Right. Right. Oh my gosh.
I'm not here every day. So for somebody to tell me otherwise, I don't buy it.
You know your business better than anyone, folks. And those of you who are female and raising money for your business, let's chat, because you're going to get skewed questions. There's pro questions that the guys get. Listen, the studies are out there. Women get preventative questions. What are you going to do if this happens? Yeah.
Skepticism, always. It's always skepticism. And it's like, no, no. So
women know how to get stuff done. Come on, guys. Snap out of it.
Yes.
Oh, this is so wonderful. How may we continue to support you, open some doors, put some wind into your sails for bug bite thing?
I just encourage people, if you suffer or you know somebody that suffers, or you want to restock your first aid kit for a bee sting that you don't want to ruin your entire trip for, go to bugbitething.com, go on Amazon. We're the #1 bestseller for insect bite relief. Support. Again, we offer 100% money back guarantee. So there's never any risk to try. If it doesn't work for you, send it back.
I love that. I'm definitely buying it for my family. I just make sure I'm close to my husband when we're near mosquitoes, because then I don't get bit.
He gets these. See, I can be next to my husband and I'll get bit 15 times and he won't get one bite.
Yeah, no, he's
just used the bug bite thing probably a total of 5 times in his entire life.
Yeah, I do there with him. But boy, my husband, my son is going to be like, oh, please, because they get those welts, and I'm shocked by that. But Kelley, thank you so much for joining us and sharing this incredible story, because you've had a wonderful success with your product, but it's because you were determined, you stuck with it, you were okay when the obstacles happened, you were able to pivot, you were willing to be flexible. Those are some of the most important ingredients of an amazing founder. So bravo to you.
Yes, I wanted to say one more thing.
Yes.
We have something really special and big happening on Black Friday. So make sure you follow us on social media to start getting the teasers for our big announcement.
Excellent. I'm going to have all the links in the show notes, everybody, because I think that's so wonderful. Yay. Thank you, Kelley. And thank you, viewers, for tuning in to this extraordinary story. You know that you grabbed a golden nugget. Even if you don't have a consumer product, you grabbed some great information for helping your business move forward. And I love that you took time out to up your founder game. You heard Kelley talk about this, how she got on Udemy. She, marketing, she didn't know anything about that. She didn't know that. She went and she educated herself, and that's what you've done by tuning in. So I'm really grateful that you carved out time. If you have any questions, pop them in the comment section or shoot us an email. You saw the banners at the bottom of the screen. And of course, information again is in the show notes for those of you watching the replay. And as I mentioned during the conversation, you don't need to struggle alone. Let me just bring up my handy dandy little how I serve founders. I've raised millions in venture capital, thousands in angel investment dollars. I know what a pitch deck needs to look like, and I co-host a monthly pitch event here. And if you're like Kelley and a woman-owned business, get certified with WeBank, Women's Business Enterprise National Council. It is the gold standard for certifying you as a women-owned business. And what that does is it gets you into supplier diversity programs, which is so important when you're going into the large corporate area. And companies love bringing on women-owned businesses, okay? So get that certification. If you have a problem filling out that application, I'm your gal. You can learn more about it in the show notes and how I serve folks. But, reach out to me, schedule, wrong slide, hold on. Reach out, book a 15-minute conversation, find out more about how I can help you with a pitch deck or with your, on-demand founder coaching. I charge by the minute. I make it really easy for you. Ask a question, but let's chat for the 15 minutes. And I need to tell you who's going to be on next Tuesday. Oh my gosh. Here he is. It's Dan Ram. He's going to be tuning in. I think he's going to be in India. So it's next Tuesday on the Startup Life Live show, November 17th at 11 a.m. EST. Dan Ram is a 5 times TEDx speaker, 3 times entrepreneur. He's a startup coach, and he's a world-renowned event MC. So he is going to make sure that you get the essential storytelling skills you need when pitching to investors and when pitching anything that has to do with your business, even to customers or the big box stores like Kelley, or in front of Shark Tank if that ever happens. But to stay and receive alerts, here's the right slide this time. Join my meetup group. You'll get an alert every time I post a new show, so you'll know who I'm interviewing, who's going to be on the Fab Female Founder Fridays or on Tuesdays. That's when I go live. So hop on over to my meetup group, join the fun, and that way you'll know whenever I go live. So I just want to say, founders, I'm so proud of all of you for getting up out of bed every day, figuring out the problems in spite of those times you just don't think you're going to find a way around the obstacle. There's a solution. Step out, be an observer of your business. That really helps. Get advisors, get people to help you along the way. Stay focused and stay healthy. Right now, it's a tough time out there with the pandemic. Do what you need to protect yourself and your family. And if your business needs to hover right now, it's okay. We're all going to get through this time. I believe in you, and congratulations on all that you're doing with your startup. See you next time. Mwah.